Hello everybody! Happy New Year's Eve! Alright, I am getting ready. If you watch my other video, it showed where I was picking my greens. So now, as a subscriber request on how to season my greens and how I cook them, I'm going to show you how I cook them. Now I do everything the shortcut way, the easy way. So tweak this method to your own cooking. But here we go. This is how I make my greens. Alright, let's go. Alright, I like to use the crock pot. Now, if you want to do the stovetop method, I'm going to show you the stovetop method at the end of the video. But this is how I do my greens when I don't want a bunch of fuss or have to wash the stove. I might want to be gone all day or sleeping at night, which is what I'm doing now. So basically I'm putting these on at nighttime. I have it on low, and basically these are going to cook overnight, and when I wake up in the morning, they're going to be perfect. The smell's going to wake me up. They won't be burned. They're going to be cooked just like if I cooked them on the stove. So let's get started. Alright, I've already got some in here already in the bottom of the crock pot, because what you're going to have to do, because when you're cooking greens, they start out big and then they shrink down little. So I've already got a few in here. So to make them fit into this crock pot, I've got some started. And what you're going to want to do as you put them in, maybe once on every hour when they cook down, just pile you some more in. But there's an easier method to that too, so that you're not up all night doing that. And I'm going to show you how quick it goes. I'll tell you that at the end of the video too, a little shortcut. Alright, I've already got some in there, so let's get started. Alright, this was my greens I had picked. I got them in a good old Walmart bag. I recycle and use everything. Alright, so I've already got a little bit of water in my crock pot, and I'll show you how much I used. I use a coffee cup. I don't use a measuring cup. I'm old school. I'm country. I took a coffee cup and I put about a coffee cup of water in the bottom just to have some cooking liquid, because greens make their own liquid. Okay? So you're going to add in some of your greens that you've already picked and washed thoroughly. And you're just going to kind of pack them down. Use any greens of your choice. I personally like collards and turnips. But use whatever greens that you like to use. Just make sure that you wash them in a sink. And then take them down to the size that you like to cook them. I like for mine to be about maybe a couple of inches big. Like this is when I picked them. Because when they cook down, they're going to shrink smaller anyway. So whatever size greens. Some people like them to where they're almost shredded. So this is just like the size that I do mine. Just my personal preference. But once again, do them the way you like to do it. Do your own cooking. Alright, now what I do once I get a few in there, and if you can see them peeking out of the crock pot. And this is a big size crock pot. So I already started with about a third of the crock pot with just a cup of water. And now I put another third of greens in there packed to the top. And let me show you the seasoning. And I also put the same seasoning in the bottom of the crock pot, but just a little, because you're seasoning as you layer, so you don't want to over seasoning. Now, this is going to be my trick. You don't have to use this. I'll show you another alternative. I like to use the Knorr chicken flavored bouillon. Normally, if I've made a chicken, I save the broth minus the grease off of a chicken that I've made. But since I don't have that, I just take a little bit of this because it's kind of salty. And I use that as my seasoning method. And people think when they taste my greens, oh my goodness, oh, this chicken broth that you use is perfect. And they don't know that I didn't actually use chicken broth. I just used my little secret. So now you got the secret too. Not too much, a small layer, because like I said, this is kind of salty. Now, this is your alternative. If you do not want to use this because of the salt content, or just because you have your other method, this is what I use. If I don't use the chicken bouillon flavor, I use accent. Look at this. 60% less sodium. The flavor is great. So you don't have to necessarily use the chicken bouillon. You can use salt, garlic salt, accent, whatever flavor enhancer that you like. And this is what I use when I don't want to use my chicken bouillon flavor and I just want to keep it still good. This is what I use. Okay? Gotta have my good old black pepper. Ground peppercorns. Gotta have them. Okay? Using this pepper grinder is great because your pepper is not sitting in a little can, you know, and it's been sitting up there for years. Using it, these peppercorns are great. This grinder, got it for $2 at my local Aldi's. They've got them at Walmart too. And it's just going to grind your peppercorns right on in there with fresh pepper flavor, not just sitting in the can forever. Now I go to my regular stuff. Onion powder. Love onion powder. You can also use fresh onions in here if you like a chunky onion and you like a bite of chunky onion in your greens. And I'm very liberal because this kind of cooks down in all this water and with the greens. So be liberal with your onion powder. All right, now garlic powder. You don't have to use it either. I personally like the taste of garlic, but not too much. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of a flavor enhancement. Little bit of coating of that. Not too much. All right. Now this is going to be the secret. You'll never forget this. I like to use olive oil. It breaks those greens down. And it tenderizes them and makes them taste really, really, really yummy. Just like if you're going to roast some vegetables off, I put olive oil in my greens. So just a little drizzle. It's going to break those greens down. Okay, a big drizzle. Oh, make them so soft and delicious and tender. So I used about maybe, like I said, I don't measure stuff. I use about maybe a quarter of a cup is what I'm going to say of just olive oil. You can even use vegetable oil. I like olive oil because it's just very good on cooking vegetables. So, all right. Now here comes the star of the show. You ready? I've got two things that I like to season my meats with. You can pick up your own method too. Make it your own. These are smoked pork hocks. I get them from Walmart. There's 2 in this pack, and I'm going to cook. I think I'm going to cook one of them because one of them is giant. These come up into a pack of even 4. So, hey, one of them is so big, and I'm going to show you that. I'm just going to make one because I'm also using another meat, too, because I actually eat the pork hock. I got high blood pressure. I don't need to be eating it, but I do. I'm going to be honest because I like this skin that's around there. So, all right. Let's move these out the way. Another thing I'm going to use, smoked pork cut neck bones. A lot of people like to use the smoked turkey necks. That's fine too. You can even use bacon, like fry up your bacon until it's almost done, not quite crisp. You can even use bacon, anything that has a good smoky flavor to it. So I'm doing both. I'm going to use one big pork hock because I want to eat this pork hock, and then I'm going to use a couple of these smoked pork neck bones, and my family members will eat those too. All right, so let's put those right on top. I am going to use, let's see. Yeah, I think I will use this big girl. This is a big old pretty girl. Now I'm going to switch it up today. I'm going to use this one. Just a little baby one. It's still good size. I've got big hands, and look, it's still big. So I'm going to use one small pork hock. Smoked pork hock. H-O-C-K. And I'm going to just lay that girl right on top. Then I'm going to go out on a limb. And I am going to switch it up and use the smaller of the pork neck bones and use several of those. So there you go. Y'all, it smells so good. You want to bite it already. So you're going to lay those on top too. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and use the smaller ones. I'm going to save a couple because I'm going to do something else with these. Y'all, look how meaty they are. Look at that. And look how much meat. That's a neck bone now. Smoked neck bone now. I'm going to save the two big ones because that's going to be for me personally just to cook in a pot by themselves and munch off that. So I'm going to use these other two that are smaller and they're still big size. All right. There we go. Now we've got our pork hocks and our pork neck bones in there. Show you one more thing. Okay, now I'm going to say this. I like everything spicy. Now, if I was making these greens just for myself, voila, this is what I would cut up, seeds and all. But because other family members are going to want to eat these and they don't have the spicy taste like I do, like literally, I could eat these like pickles, and that's the truth. I have every kind of hot sauce you can imagine, anything spicy. I would just chop these up, maybe about 5, but they're not just for me. You got kids eating too, so I'm going to omit these pretty much, and I'll just serve them with my homemade hot sauce or my homemade pepper sauce, which is just these peppers and some hot vinegar with garlic and onion. I put garlic and onion and everything, and you can make them overnight or even 2 hours before. You just boil your vinegar on the stove, about a cup or so, and then you're going to take your peppers, maybe some red pepper flakes, onion powder, garlic powder, and then just submerge your peppers in there, let them sit. And now they ain't gonna be spicy. By the time you get ready to eat a couple of hours later, just put them in an old jar. I save like jelly jars, whatever, any kind of jar that I can get from the store. I just save those jars and then I just make my own stuff. So, but these are not gonna go in today, sadly. So, but I'm gonna have mine to the side. Believe that. Okay, so no peppers tonight. Gotta let the babies eat too. Okay, so we've got everything done. As you can see, you can't even see no greens poking up. So we're going to go ahead and add us another layer. We want to pack this crock pot. All right. We're going to pack it and we're going to close it. And all we have to do, now it's quite early. It is 8 o'clock and I'm in Dallas. So I am getting these started pretty early. Easy, simple. I've already done my prep from where I picked my greens the other night. Now I am just packing them, and you want to smush them down. Now remember, we've already got seasoning on the bottom, and we put another layer of seasoning on top, so we don't need any more seasoning. We've got seasoning on the bottom with our cup of water that we already put in, and greens make their own water, so you definitely don't want to add a whole bunch of water and have just a pot of soup. You don't want to do that. So start it out with 1 coffee cup or a mug of water on the bottom, seasoning on the bottom. And now we've got another layer of greens, some little bit more seasoning. And now what we're going to do, I think that's enough. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Let's close it. Got another trick I do. We're going to close this crock pot. That's going to smush them down. And it's going to hold everything tight. Close it. Now these crock pots come with a little bit of a ventilation hole in the top. That little hole is about the size of maybe like the end of a straw. So there's a little hole for them to steam. But what I do when I'm trying to get these greens to go ahead and cook down so that I can just smush all the rest of them in and walk away, I'm going to show you a trick. I got all kind of tricks. I save a little piece of foil and I put that on there over that little hole. So guess what? It's not going to steam anymore. Normally you want it to steam and condense and cook down. So what we're going to do is put the foil over that little hole right there. And therefore it's almost going to make these greens like in triple time. Instead of just all that steam coming up and the greens are sitting there. Putting that little piece of foil on top is going to close that hole. So guess what? Everything that's in there is it's gonna condense and compact. So this big old crock pot full of greens, in about the next 30 minutes or so, I'm gonna open this pot and the pot will be like that, very little. Then what I'm gonna do, I'm going to take another cup of water, just a coffee cup full. When they're condensed down about halfway down here, I'll put another cup of water in, because remember, the greens are going to make water themselves. And when you open up that crock pot, you're going to be like, wow, what happened to my greens? They shrank, and there's going to be more water than greens. And guess what you do at that time? Come back in here. You are going to take the rest of your greens and you're just going to pile them back on top again. And at this point, you can add just a little teeny tiny bit more seasoning. Not that much. No more meat. And guess what? You're done. Everything's got down to like a small bag. So everything should fit into the crock pot. Once you're at that stage, which should take no more than about 30 minutes to roughly an hour, you are good to go. You are ready to walk off. Go to the mall, because remember, you're going to have these on low. So cooking them on low, you're going to go anywhere from 8 to even 12 hours. And I promise you, on low, they will not burn. Okay, but just remember, on low. Now, if you have a crock pot that has a low, medium, high, you can put them on medium, but maybe check them after, I'm going to say, about 6 hours. If you put them on high, you're going to check the crock pot after about 4 hours, because that's just a straight through cook. So there we go. Easy cooking greens. I'm going to come back in about 30 minutes. These will have shrunk down. And once they do shrink down to where all of my greens have fit into the crock pot, I'm going to take off that foil. And then I'm done. They're just going to steam through. But just to get them to cook quick so that I can get the rest in, keep that little piece of foil. Alright, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this method, and I am hoping that you tune in tomorrow, if the Lord's will, on New Year's Day. I will be showcasing my meal. I've already got something else back here that I made. I'm going to see if it's not too hot to pick up. This is a savory cornbread that I have made. Oh yeah, it's good. This is a savory cornbread. Look, y'all. It's a savory cornbread, and let me show you something so simple. Very, very easy. This is a bonus. So simple. All you do is take a package of cornbread, not sweet cornbread mix, regular cornbread mix. I like to use Gladiola, 1 mix. Then I take this Southwest Fiesta style. It's a frozen salad with beans, corn, little bit of rice. You can't even really tell rice is in it. Red peppers. It's just a savory Southwest Fiesta salad. It's got like a Mexican flavor to it. If you check out my other video, I actually made some Mexican burgers, because I just love that flavor of that cilantro and cumin and all that. But this is so simple. Make up your cornbread according to the package directions. Then you're just going to take 1 bag of defrosted or thawed Southwest Fiesta salad. Dump that into your cornbread mix. Cook it according to the package directions. And voila. Lord bless, like I said, I'll be showing you tomorrow my Mexican burgers. I'll be showing you my greens. I'll be showing you my Fiesta cornbread. You know I got to have some good old black-eyed peas now. And a couple of other things too. Alright, thank you guys. Appreciate you watching my video, and hoping that everybody has a safe, blessed, and wonderful upcoming New Year. Be blessed. I can't turn this off, y'all. I can't see. Hold on. Bye, guys.